Hey guys, KCTCG here. Today with Sebastian.
Shell, Sebs, Shell Bastion, Sebs, either one. I don't know. Sebastian, I don't care. You guys can call me whatever. Just not to anything weird. We'll go with that.
Shelly.
Oh God, here we
So
go.
today we're actually gonna be talking about a very important topic. It's how to build your community, and this is very important because let's be real, right? If you have no one to play with, what's the point of playing the game?
Yep.
It doesn't matter what kind of game you're playing. If there's no one around, then well, guess what? You are playing a one-player game, and most games right now are two-player games.
Peace.
Uh, so to start things off, right? Like, what is a community? That's
Oh, for me, okay. Well, a community to me, I mean, obviously, if we're going by textbook definition, I mean, either way, it's just a group of people that do something together or like are together with whatever. And card game communities are like, it's very open. There's people who look like they play the game, and there's people who don't look like they've ever touched a card or been in a card store in their life, and they still play. Um, Communities, especially in card games, people are very friendly, very open to helping you out, and especially helping you learn. I don't think I've ever really come into a community where it's been really bad. I mean, of course, there's the bad apples in every community, but even then, the community members tend to stay away from them. So that's one thing you can look at. And definitely building a community towards whatever card game that you guys want to play with. I mean, when I first started, it was just hey, I know this card game and it's pretty cool. Do you want to try it out? Yeah, sure, I'll give it a try. Why not? And it was just based from there that you know, I started playing with Austin, and then you find locals and you start hanging out with more people, and you know, you get to make a lot of good friends and a lot of cool people that you get to meet over the time and in the community of the card game space, whether it's, Vanguard, Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic, Pokemon. You never know who you're gonna meet in the communities.
and not only that too, right? Like sometimes you could be the outlier. Like you're a fresh, brand new player. Maybe you're new to moving into town, right? And community is not only just people you play with. It's a place you can make a name for yourself. It's not just you know, you're part of a group, you're also identifiable by yourself. People can be like, oh, this guy is so and so, or on the flip side, this guy's the asshole.
Yeah.
Like when people introduce others to community, when they make it grow, it doesn't just grow naturally. It grows by people playing with each other, association,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a lot of just meet and greets. And a lot of people that play card games sometimes, not all the time though, are hermits or they are just um, uh,
I mean,
I
I mean,
forgot that
you
word.
can say like
You don't
a
like being out there.
recluse.
Yeah, there we go, recluse.
Yeah,
Like you don't
yeah.
like
Most
being
people
inverts.
introverts,
Introvert.
introverts.
There we go.
Yeah,
Invert.
yeah. Invert.
They're inside out.
You think of skateboarding and shit now. Yeah.
But
Now,
yeah, like people like
yeah,
that
I
are
would agree with that.
introverts. They don't want to meet people. They want to just be by themselves. But miraculously, I've seen a lot of these so-called introverts, right? And they're big in their own community.
Mm-hmm.
And but like when you take them out of that community and you tell them, hey, let's do this, let's do this. Oh no, dude, I'm fine. Like I just want to be myself right now.
Mm-hmm.
And realistically speaking, like that's why I like this type of thing of if any gaming, you know, community. It's just that it brings the best out of people. It's not just hey, we're all together. That's all it is. Like everyone hangs out with each other. Everyone's having fun, even if it's for the short while of the duration of the game.
Yeah.
Now, a big tough one is the work being put in to build a community. A lot of people don't like putting in the work. They just like to join a pre-built community.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes this could be a good thing, right? Like joining a pre-built community. Oh, I can just move from town, do nothing needed, just be my own person. I can just have a group of people that I can rely on to play with. Now, you also need to understand that people that uh, started this community, they had to go. You're pretty much taking advantage of someone's efforts.
Yeah.
Like the community didn't just pop up naturally. It didn't just pop out of the ground like you grew it. You had to nurture it. You had to also weed out the bad players or change them. And it was from there. Like it was a collective of people that said, "Hey, you're cool. I like you as a person. You're really cool to play with, and talking to you, well, we can hang, we can just, just chit chat back and forth." Same
Mm-hmm.
thing with finding new people. Like if an outsider sees that you're like completely brand new to card games, they don't even know what your game is yet, or even just whatever activity you're doing. It doesn't even have to be a game. If they see that in the activity you're doing and they like it, and they see that everyone else around you is having a positive energy, guess what? Positivity is very infectious. So
Yep.
when they get that positivity, they would float and gravitate towards it. And guess what? A little bit of nurturing, a little bit of conversation, you added another person in your community.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then I mean, eventually you just keep growing, and I feel like it's one thing with the community where obviously you enjoy it, but it's just like anything, it goes back to a competition style, like a competitive edge, when you start to meet people, you kind of you build friendships, you build rivalries, it's one of those things where, I mean, I guess like, it sounds all cheesy, I guess, but it really is like that, You meet people and you get to understand who they are, and then like even when you play them, you can see a different side of people, Something that you might not see on a regular basis of this person, you can see when they're playing, or you see them shine through with something like that, And it can, I mean, even building the community of like playing in general will teach you a lot about yourself.
Yeah,
So,
like how people react to you for one.
mm,
It teaches you if you're likable.
that
And
too,
if
that's
you
a big one.
aren't, well, guess what? You can change it via your
Yeah.
community.
Yep.
And another thing about a community is that it's just it's a group of people that you can talk to, and a lot of people will view it as good friends, but sometimes people think it as a second family, or if you're that close, home away from home, you're able to be with that group of people, and you're in another world. Like
Yeah.
it's your break from reality, so to speak.
Yeah.
And a lot of people just disregard this. And to build a community, you have to be welcoming. You have to promote positivity, of course. I mean, just like I said, positivity is infectious, so is negativity. Once
Yep.
one person gets tilted, it can just chain react to everybody else. So you have to nip it in the bud, so to speak. But
Yeah.
it's that, and there's also to build when you're building a community, you have to be someone has to sacrifice something, either the time, the effort, or even just dealing with those, bad eggs from the get-go, those people that put you down, that say, why are you doing this? It's not the people. And that's the thing, like just like that saying, if you build it, they will come. You have to build the community from the ground up. You have to get people to, hey, hang out, let's have fun, and just enjoy doing what you're doing. Like
Yeah.
you can have a completely try hard community where everyone is a try hard, everyone is sweaty, but that's the thing. When everyone understands what everyone else is at, that's where fun can begin because you guys start challenging each other and start improving amongst each other, not just, oh, we don't want to play against this one guy because he's better than everybody.
Yeah. That's not fun, And like as like better players, it is your job once you, I mean, not necessarily your job, but you kind of have an obligation when you meet new people who want to be part of your community. You just be open and be cool. It's a lot of, I don't know, sometimes some people might take it, like too far, and they might think of themselves like, "Oh, well, I'm the best player here. I'm this and that." Yeah, but you're also a human, people aren't going to want to play with you, and you might be the best because maybe you're just a douche and nobody wants to play with you, you know? If you want to hang out with like different people and then definitely build your community and have different eyes on you, you'll never know really how big your community can get. Like there's some locals I've been to where it's a consistent, 20 player local, and I'm like, damn, like that would be nice to get like at my local. But it's because people go there because they enjoy the game, because they enjoy the people they're around, they enjoy the environment. It's a lot of other factors that will feed into the community, but main important thing would be your attitude and the way you guys treat others and how open you are. If somebody, maybe doesn't like, we'll say, for example, in Vanguard, right? If it's somebody's first time experiencing, getting sacked out by like, critical triggers or like an over trigger or whatever, right? It's like they see that, but they can also see like how the community is towards it. Like, oh no, dude, don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. Like that happens. Or even just like being able to talk about it with other people and be like, hey, have you had this experience before? Like, oh man, that just happened to me at this point. Or, is there any way that you guys can help me improve or, just be better like that? It's word I'm looking for. It's like the sense of like
Camaraderie.
camaraderie, yeah, like brotherhood, I guess I want to say, yeah, like camaraderie. Yeah, that's probably the good word for it right there.
I mean, it's not even just camaraderie, right? At this point, it's also when you are in this community, you need to understand that hey, I'm part of something bigger. It's not only about me because let's be real, right? If it's only about you, well, I'm sorry to say, but yes, you are gonna be that outlier where people do not like you, right? Because I'm sorry, this world doesn't revolve around just you.
Yeah.
And when you are talking out to a group of people, you need to understand that it is a or it is a environment where if you're a newcomer, you need to go to their mold. You can't just force your way in. You have to be accepted, so to speak.
Yeah.
And if you are already part of the community and a new player comes in, it's now the other way. You have to understand that yes, just like I said, the person coming in has to uh, kind of understand the flow of the community and go in like gently meld into it. You also have to understand that if you're part of the community, you can't just force someone to be your community. You can't just be like, oh, you are forced to play with us. You have to be with us. You can't, but because you have to be with us, you have to follow these rules. Like, if they're not
Yeah.
comfortable, they're not comfortable. Don't force someone that doesn't want to be there to be there.
Yeah.
Now, following up with that though, people need to understand that when you are making or building this environment, this community for someone, for anything to be honest, a game, just hanging out in general. When you are building the community, you have to understand that players or people, they have their own needs for one. They have their own mentalities. They like some people's mentalities or egos are very fragile. Some are very dense. Now the fragile ones, they lose once, they lose twice, they're out, they're gone. They would rather look for a weaker community to play in. And let's be honest, right? There's nothing you can do about it. If you want to talk to that person outside of the community, be like, hey, why'd you just bail on us, man? Like, not everyone's gonna win the game. Like, and if you're willing to put in the effort, who knows? Maybe that's a valuable person in your community that they're try hard, yes, but they're willing to get better. And when they get better, just like we said in previous episodes, people that get better will get better together, not just by yourself.
Yep.
And when you are putting this effort in, that's what makes it worth it. Like for example, my locals that we just started hosting not too long ago, probably a month ago, we didn't have a set amount yet. We had like maybe 6, 8 people first few weeks, build up to 10, 12, 12 to 14, and then just building up and higher. And all of this is just because when I'm hosting tournaments, or, very rarely playing in them, I try to be nice, try to be welcoming, try to be inviting, and try to be warm with everybody. Not just, oh, you weren't playing this, this is why you're losing. Like, I'm not going to be an asshole.
No,
I'm
yeah.
going to want to be inviting, I want to be nice. And just like you said, it may not be my job as a good player, but it's definitely my
Like obligation,
yeah, my
yeah.
obligation to try to be welcoming. Like I have welcomed complete brand new players to my community. They are just very afraid of joining because, you know, when we're filming this during the time we have COVID, it may not, the restrictions may have lightened a lot, but them as a group, they are still very cautious. So they don't want to be out very much. But I
Yeah.
have very consistent people. I have people that are saying, oh, I can't make it this week, but I'll be down to definitely make it next week. And we have people that are already making friends out of nothing. And that is the beautiful thing about a community is that once, like, yes, you put effort into it, but once you start the effort, it's kind of like a ripple effect. It just
Hmm.
keeps going. It'll, like, the shockwave will just keep spreading. Yes, you need to nurture it still, even especially if it's in early stages. But the moment the community has built its foundation and it's stable, well, guess what? It'll just keep going and it won't stop because unless the game dies or unless the activity dies, it will always, always bring life into your community.
Yeah, I
And
mean that's like I said, or like kind of to add to that, like your community is really what's going to sustain the game, you know? And I mean, there's nothing wrong with playing online and having it that way. I mean, we do it all the time.
I mean, even
But
that's a community too by itself.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. And like once you're able to, maybe hopefully find a spot to even host your locals at, I mean, for me, like when I play in Smash tournaments, like I'll use for an example, it's like a lot of people they do locals like out of their backyard, If you want to hang out in like an area and like, hey, like we're gonna meet up here at my house or we're gonna meet up, I don't know, somewhere where I can grab food or even like I mean, hey, I've gone to like a Starbucks and like played in a Starbucks like card games.
I
And
mean, Starbucks is one. Funny enough, right? Just to add on to just places you won't expect people to play. Frankincense is having a Magic tournament,
oh nice.
and the only way that a tournament is possible is you have a community,
Yep.
and this is just proof that Frankincense is normally just a shop that people go to, a convention center, conventional source that people just buy their cards. They don't really come there for camaraderie. They just go there to get what they need and leave. But the fact that they're able to get people together under one roof to play in a tournament says something
Hmm.
because these players have had to have heard about it from the vendors, and because of that, they're able to host and play in the tournament. And then there are going to be some players that are just there because it's a one time thing. They just heard the word tournament and they're already there. They don't give a rat's ass who's there, they're just there to win. And yeah,
Yeah.
that happens. But I'm pretty sure 95% of those players are going to be sitting there going, cool, what do you play? What do you like? And then building a community from there.
Hmm.
Now, moving from there though, right? Moving from that point, we know that communities are going to be a rough spot for a lot of people, especially when you need to work on it yourself. Yeah, a lot of players are unwilling to put in work.
Yeah.
Like, let alone get better, like build a community. They would rather get better, and already they don't put effort into that. Let's be real, right?
Yeah. That too.
So communities are going to be a rough thing to build up, but you're not alone. If you have people in your play group, for example, right? It has to start with something.
Hmm.
Like, let's say, for example, your play group. It's not you yourself that needs to build it. It needs to be everybody in your group that needs to build it. Like, everyone needs to be friendly. Everyone needs to be welcome. And that's the point of everything, right? Like have a welcoming location, just like a warm house, a welcoming house. You're not gonna go want to go to someone's house where they're uh it always feels cold, unwelcoming, unwanted. You want to
Yeah.
be invited, you want to be welcomed. Like you walk into a store, everyone's happy to see you. Some of them could be paid to smile, right? But let alone that's still a welcoming face.
Exactly, yeah. And
And
I
just
mean, like,
go
go
for
ahead, go
it.
ahead.
Go for it. I was gonna say, just like your Starbucks tournament, people
Yeah,
were still happy to see you that you were there.
yeah. They're not hyped that I'm taking up space, but I mean, I got to start somewhere, you know.
Yeah.
And again, too, it's like, I mean, I guess having a community and then finding a space to where you guys can play, And I mean, I feel like most of like the younger generation, like compared to us, right?
Hmm.
Like they're a little bit socially awkward at times, and I think they do a lot better. I mean, on the internet, which is still fine. Like, I mean, if you're gonna talk to somebody and you feel comfortable, like how we do, we talk on Discord, we chat like over Facebook Messenger or whatever.
Yeah, I don't need to see
Those
your face.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. Those little things, those will build up your community and your friendship gradually to the point where, again, you guys can, get a spot or even, go to a local card shop and let them know, hey, do you guys might not support my game, but I know like 10 people that would be more than happy to come here and play. There's
Hmm.
a couple card shops that are, nearby my place where I know they don't host Vanguard, but if we went over there, I'm sure they wouldn't be opposed to the idea, especially if it was like a group of people that are coming in,
Consistently,
12,
right?
16, 20, yeah, consistently. If you guys are coming by to come play, they'll make the space because, they enjoy the community. We
Hmm.
all play TCGs. We're all sort of into the same things. We like shiny cardboard. I like shiny cardboard. I like beating people. Ken likes beating people.
Hey,
We're both
hey,
welcoming.
man, leave me out of
am
it.
I lying? Am I lying?
I mean, I like
Yeah.
winning.
Okay, okay, okay. That's
I
fair.
don't
That's
I
fair.
don't necessarily like to beat their face in. I just want to win.
Well, we have two different definitions of winning, but yeah. But even that, all that stuff is gonna lead to, a healthy community, being open with you know, your acquaintances or your new friends or however you want to look at it. These are
Maybe
people
even
that,
your rivals.
yeah, maybe even your rivals. You never know. Once you actually start playing with people and you sit down and you see like really who they are, because doing something like this, you'll see them for who they really are. Most people might try and hide it or whatever, but you'll see it right away.
I
And
mean, you don't need to
being
be a whiz at reading people, honestly. Or maybe you're
exactly,
just
yeah,
daft at it, right? Maybe you
yeah,
can't, sense anyone being someone different than what you see, right?
yeah.
But
Some people are like that.
like realistically speaking, like you can still make out for who someone is just by talking. Like even if it's not from the person across from you, it could be like the person next to you. Be like, oh hey, careful, he's known to cheat, or hey, oh careful, he's a really mean player, or even
Yeah,
just friendly jabs from players across each other. Like I've seen this so many times where players sit down and we're not talking just to our opponent. We're talking to the person diagonal from us, next to us, two tables down. Like we're talking different things. Like, hey man, have fun, good luck, or be like, hey, you got him, yikes. Like
yeah,
so many things spark a conversation,
yep.
and these things are what helps build communities. Because I can tell you right now, like when I sat down at locals for Play Live, people would literally be like, "Oh, you got Ken, good luck," and people like brand new players would be like, "Wait, why? What's up? What's up? What's wrong with Ken?" And some of them would just be like, "Oh, you'll see for yourself." And then sometimes some players are like, "Oh, so you're Ken?" I'm like, "Yeah." Yo, I've heard so much about you. I can't wait to play you. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what they heard, what you heard, but sure.
Yeah, yeah. We'll take it. We'll take it.
And that's what a community gets to. Like You have people that hype other players, other people up,
Hmm.
or you have players that, just like talking to each other and be like, "Hey, you should do this." Like, good, you're gonna have fun here. And it just
Yeah.
makes people intrigued. It just brings more people in to get them tighter
Hmm.
together. It's a lot better than, oh, I'm only playing online. I don't know anybody here. I think I played you
Yeah.
last time in the internet tournament, but I'm not gonna bother to remember your name or anything. I'm just here to play the game. Like
Yeah.
that's really bad, honestly, because if your outlet to play is an online tournament that maybe is held like once a month, maybe once a season, yeah, that's kind of bad.
Yeah. And like that's not really the experience that you would want to have, nor would I want like any of the players that I meet with like have that experience, you know? Because
Yeah.
really a card game is like, I mean, card games in general, right? We sit down, like they're tabletop games. We sit
hmm
down, we talk, sometimes we have food, we have drinks, whatever, and we're playing a game, you
And
know?
someone spills food on your cards.
Yeah, and then you're like, dude, that was my Mox Diamond, like that
Oh,
was worth five hundred
yikes.
dollars,
Oh,
like a
500,
thousand,
bro.
whatever. That's a cheap one. That's my reprint. That's the one I bought from some guy.
From
That
some
that's
some shady
one of the
aisle.
backpackers. One of the backpackers sold it to me. There you go. Yeah. But that's why it's like all those things are gonna lead to just a good environment, good friendships, you know. And I know I've gone to locals time at times just to hang out. Like I've gone to locals like, oh, you know what? I don't really feel like playing in the tourney today. Like I'm just gonna hang out.
But these people
And it's
became your
like,
friends.
yeah, yeah. And everybody there just become friends over time and
Yeah, and
some
and
some
here's the thing
people
too, right? Like
mm,
this is great and all where I'm pretty sure a lot of people know what community is at this point, right? Like if
yeah,
you don't, then you're part of that daft group that can't read people for Jack.
yeah.
But there is one more topic I want to touch on because we don't want to drag this on too much. Where do you find these people? Because it's not just people that naturally come to your location, right? Like maybe you have to advertise. Hey guys, come to my group's locals. We have a great time. Everyone's fun. Or here's my favorite way to poach people. I mean, sorry, get people. Regionals.
Oh, I see.
When you have big tournaments where people from anywhere get together.
Hmm.
Because I can't tell you how many times I've heard this exact line. After being told that, hey, there's a locals tournament here, the exact thing here is, what? I never knew that existed, or I never knew that shop was there.
Yeah.
Like, that catches me off guard so much.
Yeah, I've definitely heard that before, you know. You meet other players at low or not, sorry, at regionals, and then yeah, right away they've never heard of it. They don't know that there's a shop, 10, 20 minutes away from their normal spot or maybe another spot, and it's like, "Oh, that's free on, my Friday or my Saturday." Like, damn, I should go there. And then especially when they start to meet other players, oh, hey, I got to play against Ken or I got to play against Sebs and oh, they're pretty good. Oh, you know what? If they're pretty good, maybe their local players are also really strong and really good, you know? Let me just go out of my way and try it out and play over there.
Yeah, and it's where the fun begins, like, because then people start realizing, hey, I never went to this area. This is pretty cool. I can make this like a weekly thing for me. I'm normally free X day. I'll make it so that I'll just come here now. Now I have a permanent slot in my plans, so I'm not just stuck at home forever.
Mhm.
Like, there's this that happens, and a community solves this. Like, it doesn't even need to be like, oh, let's say, for example, my local is this Friday, and people go, oh, well, uh, what if you want to play or do something else, or you wanna go somewhere? Then for one day I'll go somewhere else. Maybe my locals will miss me, but once I go there, talk to everyone about us from us over there, and then when I come back, I talk about them over here. Guess what? You were advertising both communities. Both communities can grow now, and it's now a good thing because you are getting more common people commonality together where it's camaraderie. It's hey, let's go here, let's go here, and it's gonna suck sometimes. Some shops or some locations have their tournaments at the same time, same day, right? Making you
Yeah.
choose A or B. Well, guess what? If you like people from both, you can meet up with them outside of that time zone,
You
of that time frame. Shocker, I know.
can meet up outside. Oh my god,
Yeah,
that's a
dude.
thing. People do that. Sounds like something my grandpa did, dude. Like people meet in person. Oh my god,
Yeah,
COVID.
dude. People actually go outside and people actually meet outside of local time frames.
Oh shit, couldn't be me. I don't know about all
Oh, yikes.
that.
But
Yeah.
yeah, like that's gonna be the big thing is that a lot of players, like just kind of to recap, right? One, need to put in work to help build a community or to keep it alive or keep it growing. That's number one.
Hmm.
Number two, know where to look for players. Like advertise appropriately, of course, but advertise your community if you need to.
Yeah.
And three, if you notice bad eggs, bad apples, fix it. Like if, let's say for example, I know this never happened because me and Sebs are really good friends, but let's just say I randomly played Sebs
Mm.
and he was a complete asshat. Like dude gave zero shits about etiquette. And after the game, I was like, dude, screw this guy. Like, what the hell? If I'm not gonna say promote a person to be a manager of a community, right? It's not a job. It's something you do for fun. But if there is someone in your community that makes someone else not like not like the group, not like the community, make them not want to come back. Well, guess what? You should whoever that person listens to the most, have them talk to that person. Be like, hey man, so you should have dialed it down a little bit because that was really harsh. Like you don't even need to make it about that person. You'd be like,
Yeah.
hey, I was watching your game. That was kind of rude, dude. Like, why'd you do that? Like, don't directly attack them, but bring up the topic.
Yeah.
And when this happens, I will guarantee, almost guarantee. I can't guarantee anything because people are unpredictable sometimes. They're like, hey, man, you talk to them, and 9 out of 10 times, the person in question will change your attitude, even just by a little bit.
Yeah.
And realistically, that's all you need. Like, let's say that person gives it another shot, and they get paired up again. And this time, the guy just starts talking, and they're like, "Oh, hey, you're actually a cool dude." And then, hey, boom, you got another person that's likable. You got another person in your community. You got two birds with one stone.
True. True.
And that's the biggest thing is just that people be very courteous, be kind, treat yourself and treat others very well. Don't just be negative, be rude, because the community is a living thing. It's a living being. It's not just collaboration of people. It's living. It breathes. It grows, and it can die.
Mm.
And you as a player, your job or your role in the whole grasp of everything is to help contribute to keeping it alive.
Yeah.
Because if you are gonna be a complete clown, guess what? Either you're gonna be kicked out of the community, blacklisted, which is almost as bad as being kicked out, almost as good, and or be the reason your community dies. And no one wants that.
No, I mean, if you can avoid most of that, I mean, that's not even hard to do, you know?
Yeah.
That's just
Don't
being
be rude.
polite. Don't be a douche. Just be cool with people, you know? If people have questions or if they're learning, I mean, just be open. Don't be, you know, Don't be an asshole about it. People, if people are interested in wanting to play the game or wanting to come and join and hang out, like that to you should be a sign that like one, I mean your game is like interesting enough to get some random person off the street to be like, yeah, sure, I'll play a game with you, you know?
Hmm.
And then for two, it's like another person who just comes to your locals who could potentially be, a lifelong friend or even somebody, someone that's just there at your locals all the time to play. Another member that's going to come and actually be a part of what you guys care about. And through that, I mean, I'm going to use skateboarding as an example here.
Hmm.
Off the bat, if I because I've been skateboarding for so long, if I see another skateboarder, it's an instant connection, you know? If I see somebody come into my card shop and they're playing whatever, Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, any of the TCGs, right? Flesh and Blood. You see that, and if you have some sort of interest, you can have a conversation off the bat. You guys can hit it off, and oh
Ah, but
wow, hey, you play
I
that?
gotta talk to a stranger now.
Yeah. Hey man, some people I get it. It's hard. Sometimes it's hard to talk to strangers. Not everybody can do it. But if you want to have like other people be in your community, I mean, hey, talking to strangers and seeing people that have an interest in the same hobbies that you do is again, you don't know what that could lead to, you know? It could lead to a cool friendship. It could lead to, I don't know, some people have relationships off this stuff, you know? It's just
Or,
you never know.
you get kidnapped and
And
held for
yeah, that too.
ransom.
That's like worst case scenario, but like new friend, ransom. I'll take the new friend, no big deal. Yeah.
But if I kidnap you, I have a permanent friend.
That's also true, see? And technically if I get kidnapped, that means I don't have to go to work. That means I can not worry about paying for food because I'll be fed anyway.
Are you sure
And
though?
like, oh fuck. Well, I would hope. I would hope that that was the case. Don't kidnap your friends, guys, unless you're willing to fucking feed them, because that's all bad at that point. Mm. Yeah, but I don't know. It's a. I hope what you guys take away from this, at least from a community sense, the aspect is just be open. You never know who's gonna walk through the door of your locals, or maybe one of your friends. One of your friends that might be going through it, or just kind of needs something to do, or wants to pick up something and like maybe try out something different.
Yeah.
I never played. I mean, I played card games growing up, but I didn't really play in like tournaments or anything. I would just casually play like with my brothers and my sisters and whatever. And then once I started playing Vanguard, when Austin introduced me into this game, it really made a spark. And I became a part of a community, a bigger community, and I get to have conversations like this. Like I would have never thought when I first started the game, I don't know, like 8 years, 10 years ago, however long I've been playing this game, um, that I would be here, putting my voice out to the community, to the people who really enjoy not only learning and growing, but who really care about the game itself and the players.
Like and just to, just broaden the subject, community isn't just people to play with. Right now, at least, at this current moment, Facebook is the biggest social media that is out. I mean, there's Instagram, there's Twitter, TikTok is one of the big ones that influencers use now. But Facebook is where a lot of people put out their voice. And that itself, those group pages, are also a community. And some
Yeah.
people, like, unfortunately, some of them are very toxic. A
Mhm.
lot of people would joke about some of them, but it's still the essence of what a community is.
Yeah. Facebook is like, obviously, one of those things where online people tend to say things that they wouldn't say in person, which is still really bad because again, those are the bad eggs that you want to weed out. Those are the people that you really don't want to be a part of your community. And sometimes, I mean, sometimes there's trolls. Sometimes there's people that just want to come in and just like mess with you just for the sake of messing with you. And the good thing is, I mean, okay, in person you can restrict them or ban them from you. And I mean, online it's even easier. You just turn them off. You just block them and ignore them from the group, and there you go. You don't ever have to worry about this person again. You know?
Yeah.
So
And so that's the thing. Like online groups, they are really good practice for you to know who's bad or who's a bad egg, who's a good egg, who's a good person to keep around, and it's also a good way to build yourself the confidence to be able to talk to random strangers, or heck, even just throwing your voice out there. All of these are good practices for building community. And remember, guys, it all starts with one person. The
yeah,
hopes and dreams of building a community, or just one person to join a community. So it does seem like that's all the time we have left for today. Um, Next week, guys, it's gonna be a fun topic. If you guys remember, I want to say a few weeks ago, we put out a video of how to lose, and it wasn't just it was just how to take a loss realistically. Well, next week's video is gonna be the opposite: how to take a dub.
you got to learn how to
And
win, man.
yeah, like, and we're not talking about like we're gonna give you the formula to play the game. We're it's actually when you win, what should you do, what shouldn't you do, how to treat the win, etc.
Yeah, we gotta cover that sometimes because some people don't know. I mean, I get it. It's exciting when you win, but hey, man,
It's a two-person game where one person needs to take a loss.
yeah, and just like rub it in their face. And believe me, I've heard some stories of some people who, they win too hard and their opponents don't like it, and maybe
Tables
they
get
stop
flipped.
playing. Maybe tables get flipped. Maybe, the other person stops playing completely. Like I've seen it. I've seen it happen.
Oh yeah.
But yeah,
All right, guys. So that's it for this week. Thanks for tuning in, and as always, guys, just I think this is the first time I actually said this. Like and subscribe. Um, your guys' feedback, even if it's on YouTube or in person, we've gotten a lot more people talking about us in person than actually YouTube. I'm actually kind of
nice,
shocked.
nice. That's good. That's good.
Like, thank you guys. We appreciate it. Just yeah, keep liking, subscribing. Every little bit helps. Every time the time one of you talk about it and want to get included or voice your opinions, we strive for it. It's why we keep making these videos. So yeah, guys. Today this is with Subs and me.
See you later, guys.
Bye. Take care.